Hi guys, this is Spartan765, and today I'm doing a video review. Got asked a question regarding open carry, and is open carry safe? Now, that all depends on where you live. If you live in a bad area, no, open carry is not safe. If you live in, even living in a suburb, open carry generally may not be so safe unless you are fully situationally aware, you're trained, you have the training, or you're self-trained. You practice tactical drawing, you practice drawing and talking. If you ever need to use the gun, how to defend yourself, and being situationally aware where you sit in restaurants if you open carry. Overall, though, open carrying in a city, generally, like I said, even if it's a good area or a bad area, I would not recommend. Now, this is actually in response to my open carry in Minneapolis, South Minneapolis video. Now, like I said, open carrying in an area where you're not, where it's a higher crime area, you generally, if someone's going to rob the place that you're in, 90% of the time, if they see a customer standing there and they're open carrying, it'll deter them, and they'll just walk back out and they won't do anything. But there's a 10% of the time where, not 1 out of 10 times, that person will be hell-bent determined to get what they want, and they will first take aim at you to eliminate you, prevent you to draw your weapon, prevent you to or take your weapon away from you. It can be, like I said, if you're gonna open carry, especially if you're gonna go into a place like, let's say you're gonna go into a restaurant, McDonald's, Subway, someplace like that. If you're gonna sit somewhere, you're gonna want to generally sit where you can see all the entrances to the building. You don't want to have your back facing an entrance. And that's just so that if something does happen, you'll see the bad guy before they see you. Therefore, you have the upper advantage to defend yourself if need be. Now, depending on the state you live in, you may have a stand your ground law, or you may have a duty to retreat law. Now, I live in Minnesota, and unfortunately in Minnesota we have duty to retreat. And that means that if you are in a gas station and you are carrying and you have a way out where you can safely get out, you have to take that way out. You can't play hero and shoot the robber. You can only do that if your life is being threatened or severe bodily harm, which is kind of stupid. I think that I like states with stand your ground laws. We have the right to subdue the bad guy and eliminate the threat. But open carrying in the suburbs, it depends on if you live in an open carry friendly state. Open carry friendly is defined as a state that has permissive open carry without a permit. States like Wisconsin, Arizona, states like South Dakota, where you have permissive open carry. In a lot of states nowadays, almost half the states have permissive open carry. There are some states where city law can outrule state law and stuff like that, but thank God Minnesota is not one of them. Some states that are like that are Michigan, Nebraska, because I know Omaha and Nebraska have stricter gun laws than the actual state does. But open carrying in general, like I said, you want to be very situationally aware. You want to know how to be situationally aware. You want to know how, if a situation arises, to take cover, to draw your weapon, and to properly, address the situation, rather than just getting all scared, shitting your pants, and drawing your gun and shooting off randomly. With the adrenaline kicks in, like something like that, if someone is threatening you, you got to know how to control yourself and be able to draw and safely shoot your gun. Now, I've never been in a situation before where I've had, obviously something like that in a storefront area or wherever where I've had that happen. Thank God. We all hope that never happens. But in the case that it does, you want to be aware and you want to know how to properly and safely handle your firearm in the event of a situation like that. Now, I recommend concealed carry, if you can. I mean, some people don't like concealed carry. I'm one of them. Just because I like I like my holster. I like to be able to, you know, comfortably carry. And some of the holsters that you have the inside the waistbands, if you're wearing it all day, they can get uncomfortable. There are some out there that make them really nice, where you can carry a smaller gun, you know, like a Ruger LC9, a Ruger LCP, rather comfortably concealed, you know, which is nice. Personally, I prefer my XDM45. I'm extremely proficient with my XDM45. Very used to it. Know how it operates, know how it shoots. That's why I like that gun. Now, to conceal this gun, a bigger full-frame gun like this or a Glock, full-frame Glock, you're gonna, you know, your options are kind of limited. I mean, especially if it's summertime. Now, if you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans, t-shirt and shorts, this excludes basketball shorts. You know, there's some options like, you know, those nylon inside the waistband holsters by Uncle Mike's, which I actually prefer. But as far as, you know, concealed carrying in the winter with something like this, it's a whole lot easier. I generally tend to wear a Carhartt for my jacket of choice all winter round. And I just zip my jacket up like this. Can't even tell I have the gun on me, you know, the gun or the magazines, and it's in my my Blackhawk Serpa level 2, which is really nice because I can walk in anywhere, not going to draw attention to myself, and you will draw attention to yourself open carrying. You won't draw as much attention if you're well dressed and you look presentable. You're still going to draw a little bit of attention, especially if some bad guy's in the gas station or wherever scoping it out, because someone who's going to rob a place, they'll usually, from what I've read, they will scope out the store. They'll walk through all the aisles and everything like that before they do that, you know, see who's all in the store. If there is someone in the store, they'll prevent them from doing that. Now, if you just look like this, you know, not going to think anything of it because they can't see your firearm. Now, there's, like I said, winter is a lot easier to conceal your gun, and a lot of people say that. You'll have instructors tell you that. My instructor told me that when I took my carry class. Nice thing about Carhartts, should have taken it on, I was going to show you something. Carhartt actually makes jackets with inner pockets like this, right here, that are perfectly sized. So, if you don't want to wear a holster, you can just very easily set your gun inside here like that. Full-size gun right in that pocket right there. The only thing I don't really like about this coat pocket here is the material. This is a single stitch here now. Now, if that stitch was to come undone when you were in a store, or, you know, it started to come down over time, or you just jumped and then all of a sudden just tore, out goes your gun on the floor. Now, that does not look very good. So I plan on, you know, I'm going to buy a new Carhartt this year because, you know, I go through about one of these a year. They get pretty well beat up. So I'm going to get one, and I believe Carhartt makes an actual jacket designed with a holster inside of it that's rated to carry a gun. So I'm going to try and invest in one of those. You know, but these jackets are very nice. You know, you can go pretty much anywhere with them. They're pretty durable. Obviously mine doesn't look like it is, but you know, I use it all the time, doing maintenance on stuff, working on stuff, and they get beat up. But yeah, that's my basic you know, views on this open carry, dangerous or safe. Like, you know, if you just get a gun and you're new to guns, you know, you haven't been around them all your life, you're not proficient with your tactical shooting. Like, I practice tactical shooting, tactical drawing, tactical run and gun, you know, ducking, crouching at the range I'm at, because I'm fortunate enough to be a member of a range that allows that. It's out in the middle of the country. So, but if you just get your new gun, like let's say you just pick up a gun at the gun store, you got your carry, never fired it, now, you're going to want to always fire your gun before you carry it, even if you carry concealed, because you're going to want to try and be proficient with it. But open carry on a new gun, or if you're not proficient with shooting, don't do it at all, because you're just going to draw more attention to yourself, and open carrying can be a little bit dangerous depending on where you live, like I said about 3 times already. Just trying to get the point across. But if you all got any comments or questions or videos, or got any other opinions, I'd love to hear viewers' opinions. Please send me a personal message or any video requests, and I'll make a video for you or respond to your messages. I don't generally respond to comments because I get so many of them a day. Try to respond to some of them, but I will always respond to personal messages. I only get about 20 of those a day, 15, 20 of those a day. So, yep. Comments, questions? Spartan 765 out.